Awooga! It's Thursday night. It's a match preview, and I watched some old Gladiators footage today, which I sent to Dora. You enjoy Gladiators, don't you, Dora?
I was shocked and I was thrilled how good it was because I missed it. We didn't have gladiators here, so yeah, it was a I would say it was a cultural reset for me or a cultural shock for me. So yeah, I'm glad that you sent me that.
Oh, it was Gladiators was absolutely amazing. And speaking of gladiatorial combat, Amonde, how are you feeling after I convinced everyone to swap out Rude for Oliver Solskjaer?
I've had my head down all day in despair. I can't believe, any other day, I reckon if we did this in a year's time, you would change your mind. I just think something was in the air yet last night, and everyone just bit onto it that Ollie is better than Ruud van Nistelrooy. I mean, even saying it doesn't sound right. But yeah, it was a great show last night. If you missed it, go and check it out, guys. We put together a team of Man United 11, best of Man United 11, but only European players, not British Isle players, not South American players, European players. And if you didn't watch it, the right back, I felt, and the midfield was really tough to get.
Yeah, it was tough, but I mean, the highlight of the show is when I just decided to see if I could wind the Monday up by trying to get everyone to put Ollie in, and I succeeded. So I had a whale of a time. And Dora, we haven't seen you for a while. How have you been? What's up?
I've been good. The life, work, life, everything else, friends. How it is. It was quite an eventful week, and yeah, I've been, in other sports a bit. I've been watching, basketball, water polo once again. World Cup, Croatia is in the finals, so yeah, shout out to my country for that. They qualified today. So yeah, I've been good. I'm just waiting for another United game, to be quite honest with you.
You know what, Dora, my son, I've tried to get him into play football. He's 13 now. But he doesn't live with me, unfortunately. He's miles away. But I've always tried to get him to play football. I even bought a Man United shirt with Eli at the back this year to try to entice him. But he doesn't play. He did start playing team football when he was about 8, 9 years old. But then I don't believe it, but he got an injury. I don't know what it's called. But Bathtoime might know, where your bones are too weak or your joints are too weak and they turn and bend. You can turn your ankle or your knee or something like that. I don't believe it. Something like that, yeah. I don't believe it. I just think his mum didn't want him to play football for some reason, despite me. I shouldn't say that, but maybe. I don't know. But anyway.
Where are you going with this?
But now he plays water polo.
Oh, that's great. That's great for his body if he's, feeling, having weak bones and everything. I mean, swimming is amazing. I've been swimming my whole life. I just wish I wasn't so lazy and so caught up in the life, so I can go on and swim to go to the pool, public pool or something to swim every week for a few times. But yeah, water polo is great. I mean, your boy is going to be really strong after after few trainings.
He sometimes said he gets bloody noses from getting smacked in the face and things like that.
Yeah, it's really rough. I mean, you never know what is happening below the surface, pinching, a lot of things. A lot of things. So yeah, I mean, great. That's amazing. I mean, I'm sure that his issue is going to be resolved with this sport, because I mean, I love water sports. I've been, Croatia has been always great in water sports, so yeah, I'm really excited for you, for your son training that. So yeah.
I know nothing about it. We done a show on injuries a few weeks back about what sports create the worst injuries and things. What kind of injuries would you expect from water polo?
I mean, probably concussions, because people are constantly, wrestling in the water. I would say it's a really rough sport. I mean, probably dislocated, fingers. I don't know, a lot of things. I never played it, so I watched a lot of water polo in my life, and those people. I mean, when you see water polo players come up to you, they're like, they're huge. They are really muscly. Not, like how do you say it? Not shredded. Like. Yeah, they're not really buff, but they're very lean, but they're really, really strong. So, I mean, you need to be a lot strong to, you kind of get really roughed up after, years of, training that. So people don't get injured that much, like breaking balls or whatever. It's not like that. But yeah, I mean, probably dislocated fingers, concussions, and broken noses, of course.
Thank you.
Any other aquatic-based injuries you want to hear about on Monday?
Not just yet. We'll make a show, maybe. Maybe we do a show on that later.
Yeah. All right. Should we say hello to a few people?
Yeah.
All right. First off, we've got Solo, who is doing CPR here, punching that heart. We got Stephanie Griffiths. If Aaron Wan-Bissaka is also injured, has to be Delilah at left back, with McTominay playing at right fullback. Imagine this happening and not Amrabat. Okay. Play Delilah at left back, Anthony at right back. And we've got DK Wilson all the way from Cincinnati saying hello to everyone. We've got Matthew Bassett saying good evening. We've got Andrew Williams in the house saying evening homies. We've got our creative genius, Subvids, saying good evening all.
Big up.
I got Matthew Bassett is emailing Andrew something. And we've got Early Doors.
Yes,
saying
Early
good
Doors.
Evening. Always a pleasure to watch you guys.
Respect,
and we've got Big T giving us all very nice epithets. We got
Glamorous Dora. Glamorous Dora. That's lovely.
A glamorous Dora. I thought about making a joke about Dora because I believe, is that not the name of the fish in Finding Nemo?
Yes, Dory.
Yeah,
her name is Dory.
Dory?
She's very forget. Yeah.
What
I mean,
one.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same. Dory, Dora. You know what? I will take it. All of them are my namesake. Don't worry.
We have Stephanie Griffiths bigging us all up. Andrew sent you a Valentine's Day card. Did you get it, Dora?
Now we know. Now we know.
I don't know. I'll need to check it with my post office. So don't worry.
And then Connor, who is Yank Talking Smack, was actually an Olympic water polo player, if people don't know that. But it certainly didn't translate to other sports or, to be honest, knowledge of what goes on in a football match. Shout out to Connor.
Connor's
Sorry?
He's 6'8", Connor is.
6'8"?
I think, yeah, he's really tall.
Like, on Rich Sports, everyone is massive. Like, those Coyle twins are all 6'4" as well. Wow. And Rich will be on after us tonight. So
we got Rich Sports. Subscribe, guys.
Let's go across. Look, we got Radjat here. He's just said McTominay can go. Thanks for that, Radjat. Darren Tubbs, he's listening in. He's
the chef.
Boarding.
My good friend Darren Tubbs, DD, wicked man. Nice to have you on board. Hope you're having a good shift.
And Andrew is saying that one of the biggest problems in water sports is bruising your bollocks.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I didn't want to be rude and say that, but yeah, probably.
That's all right. We had some crazy stuff last night, to be perfectly honest. All right, boys and girls. This is the show we've got tonight. I know that there was a press conference today. I haven't watched it. There's been loads of people appointed. I don't know who they are. We'll probably deal with this tomorrow night. Tonight is a match preview. I'm going to talk about football. So first off, we've got injuries. Right. Take a guess who's injured.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Monday?
Sorry.
I'll go Luke Shaw.
Yeah. Dora, give me another one.
Malacia, Mount.
Yes. Oh, no, that's the wrong button. And so is that. Right. Shaw is a doubt for Sunday, but Martinez, Mount, Martial, Malacia, and Wan-Bissaka are all out. And for Luton, obviously, Tom Lockyer is out, and we wish him all the best. Why? Do you know what happened to him on Monday?
I thought you were being sarcastic, like Tom Lockyer, like he's some sort of dangerous player. Yeah, but I just realised it's probably to do with a serious heart. Was it a heart injury or?
Yeah, he had an Ericsson on the pitch.
I take that back. I thought you were just being sarcastic, like, yeah, oh God, thank God for that. When like taking the Mickey out of them, but yeah, respect to Tom Lockyer. Sorry about that.
And they also have a guy who is on loan from Villa called Marvelous Nakamba, who is genuinely one of the nicest men in football. He's like gives half of his wages to build a village in Zimbabwe. They've built a statue of him. He's genuinely one of the nice guys in football. So shout out to those two. Right, what's our next slide? Okay, in chat and on the panel, what can you tell me about Luton?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I haven't watched much of them this season. I know that they are at the bottom of the table. Not anymore, by the way. They are just out of the relegation zone, 1 point above Everton. And that's, huge for them. What I know of them is that Luton and Manchester United almost have the same goal tally, which is absolutely insane as well. And yeah, they are playing. I don't know, Bath-time, you're going to talk tactics a bit, but of course, there, as any team, I would say lesser team, I can say it. They are, bottom table team in the Premier League, fighting to survive, the relegation. They're playing quite closed off there. They play with 5 at the back, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, but they had some crazy games this season as well. I mean, against Arsenal, they scored 3. It was 4-3, if I'm not mistaken. They won against Brighton 4-0, which was huge as well. They almost beat... they beat Chelsea this season as well. I mean, everyone beat Chelsea, but, they beat Chelsea, earlier in the season when no one, believed that they are capable of doing that. So, yeah, when they are on point, they're on point, right? I remember their game against us. We were quite poor that game as well. But we, in the end, won 1-0. I think Lindelof scored in the end. So, yeah, it's nothing, marvelous, except Nakamba, of course, in that team. But, when they get it, when they want it, more than the other team, and when they get it right in the tactics, they are quite a handful, I would say, because, I mean, at the end of the day, even though they maybe aren't, the best team in the world, they are still, they are still in the Premier League, and they are still, a Premier League team. So yeah, it's quite interesting. And also, I know that some of the, Tahith Chong is there, and Rose, the players are like, Ross Barkley, and those, I would say, washed up players.
We'll get to them later, Dora.
Yeah.
You're running through my slides like.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry. Maybe you should.
That's all right.
Okay, I will shut up.
All right, Amanda, just before we get to you, I'm going to go through what the comments can tell us about Luton. We start off with Andrew. He said they used to play on an artificial pitch. Was that in the early 90s?
No, 80s. Then in Loftus Road, QPR used to have artificial pitches. Used to give them a great advantage of home games.
Wow.
Rajat is saying that Luton are 18th. And then he says they're 17th, so they're on the up. Luton have a better conditioned stadium than ours. I'll show you some pictures of Luton Stadium in a bit. Andrew's giving us their club heroes, Mickey Hartford, Brian Steen, and Ricky Hill. Yeah,
I don't know who these people are. I'm so sorry.
Legends.
You don't know Mickey Hartford?
I'm sorry. I don't know every single English player in the
hardest man in football.
Sorry?
He's the hardest man in football.
I will check it out. I will check him out after the stream. Sorry, I'm learning so much.
We got Pat in. Hello, Pat. He said it's beside Watford and it has an airport. This. We got TK Wilson. What the hell is Luton? Is it named after someone? Some mythical creature? The great Luton came from the sea to eat England. I always forget that we have like sort of foreign fans, and when we talk about places like Milton Keynes and Luton and stuff like that, they've probably never heard of these places. All right, Amonde, I've got some facts up here for you. What do you make of these?
Oh, what's up at the moment? Yeah. All right. So we're talking about Luton Town. I will go back in time. I remember when I was growing up, Luton were a big team. They were always in the Premier League or the First Division. And yeah, I mean, we talk about size and the way they used to play their football. Mickey Harford was one of the hardest players in football. Talk about hard players, like not just hard with the tackle, but I'd bank him in a bar and brawl. He was a tough guy. He's still associated with the club. Big up to David Pleat as well. He's a legend of Luton Town, ex-manager. Oh, yeah. He passed away a few years ago, and he's responsible for them being in the top league in the 1980s. The biggest achievement, I remember in 1987, they beat Arsenal, the great Arsenal side, which was just forming. Remember 2 years later, they won the title with George Graham. They still had those good players. They beat Arsenal in the Milk Cup final, League Cup final, 3-2. Is a great game. So that just shows the quality that they had. They, as you know, with the artificial pitch back then, it was called AstroTurf. It was really hard, really difficult to play on, and they were used to it. And that's why they used to stay up, I believe, because they used to have big players back in the day. You said average height here, 6'1". Nothing changes. Ricky Hill, I know him through family and all that. He was a giant of a man, and the legend has it that he had a size 13 shoe for a footballer, which is a bit unusual back then, but a big 6'2", rugged, big midfielder, but with a bit of class. And I think he got an England cap as well to go with that. And obviously the Steen brothers, I think they're from Zimbabwe or South Africa as well. Brian Steen, he scored the winner in, I think it was in 87 against Arsenal. So Luton Town have got a lot of history in the top division. Unfortunately, it's only just this year they come back, but they've gone back with the same formula. So here we go, what you're saying here. Scored after 20 seconds against Brighton with a 5-man press. That's impressive. I'm sure you, I don't know if you've got an animation, but I'm sure that's good. I looked at the thing. They're playing 3 at the back, big guys and wing backs who've got to do the donkey work up and down, because up front they've got big guys as well. And Ross Barkley, if you look at him, he looks massive at the moment. It looks like he's been in gym pushing weight. So I think they would today, if we had a show, they would be the hardest team, as in 11 against 11. Who's your hardest players? Who walks out alive? I think they're the team who'd be walking out. Thankfully, we're not having a UFC brawl against them. We're playing football. But they are going to be a tough test and they are really achieving well compared to Burnley and Sheffield United, the other team that came up. Granted, though, Sheffield United did beat them 3-1 at Kenilworth Road a few weeks ago.
Well, thank you for 40 years of history into Luton and Monday. I love it when you go back to the 80s when we're just doing match previews.
The best time of my life.
Yeah. All right. So I've had a bit of a look at Luton today, and I found some interesting stuff out. But I've included this thing about scoring after 20 seconds because it was a Brighton kickoff, and they pressed. And from a couple of games I've seen of Luton this year, they're not a low block. They're not necessarily a low block team. They're going to be getting at our centre backs, our midfielders. They're going to be looking at our left and right backs in particular. So this, and especially at Kenilworth Road, this could be a bumpy game. They're a very, very big team, like by Premier League standards, and 3 centre backs and 2 wing backs can cause you problems if you're not able to pin a team back. So I'm expecting a rocking match, to be honest, on Sunday, like a really, really exciting end-to-end game. I think it's going to be great. But we got some comments. The first one is Big T saying, when surveyed, Luton Town's put Ollie in over Ruud in a United best European 11, so they know their football down there. Ross Barkley. He is a player we're going to be looking at a little bit later. He's ex-Everton, and I think he's very good. Andrew is saying, on our current form, we should handle these. Menny is a player that we let go to Luton that we will discuss a bit later. Pat is bringing up Ross Barkley again. And good evening to our favourite serious fan. Luton seem to raise their game versus the big boys, as seen with brave performances versus Arsenal, Liverpool, City. People thought they would get tonked. And Dora, I think you brought this up earlier. It took a very, very late Declan Rice goal for Arsenal to get away with 3 points. They drew 4-4 at St James's Park. Like, they remind me a bit of the sort of the sort of mid-90s Wimbledon, to be honest. Like, they're really difficult. Darren Tubbs. 21 was the last time they beat you in the first division, 85 or 87. So up-to-date stats. And Bart's brought up that they've appointed Rob Edwards, who is their manager. Rob Edwards is only 41 years old. And he's been fast-tracked through lots of, like, through the England setup and all these sort of things. A lot is expected of Rob Edwards to go on and have a really good career. So watch out for that. And have we got anything else here? Big T is saying that Luton will to attack, will leave us space to demolish them with our blistering pace. If they score 4, we will score 5. It will be that type of game. Well, here's hoping. But I found something else out, Dora. Luton crossed the ball the most in the Premier League. They've put 507 crosses in so far, which is 27 more than the next big crosses that are Everton. And I've highlighted 2 players here that I am slightly concerned about on crosses. So, Dora, tell me what you think about this.
I mean, it will be scary. I think every set piece against us is quite scary. We saw this season as well. We saw it. We saw that, some of the players are kind of lost in that, box when we are defending. Besides Lindelof, some of the defending players. I think the outfield players like what's his name, Højlund, who he seems kind of lost every time we are trying to defend with all players in our box, and of course Andre Onana, who doesn't put me at ease when we concede a set piece against us, or a free kick or a corner or whatever. So yeah, it will be really tough. He will be tested. Hopefully we will see, I hope we see him, in a really good form in the air. I think that, despite us, him having much more stable games in the last few games, I would say, I think that he needs to prove a lot, especially, in these situations, in the air, especially because that's,
like claiming
in my
crosses.
opinion. Yeah, claiming crosses, and it's still, his shot stopping is still suspicious to me, but he did have great saves. I cannot run away from that or deny it, but I still need to see a proof that he can defend crosses.
And Lindelof, actually, it's Ask Monday. This you're on mute, by the way, Monday. You're a central defender. Like, if I threw a washing machine into the penalty box, I'd expect you to head it away. Yeah, anything, Vauxhall Astra, just it's all going at. What are we gonna need to defend a team that is just going to spam crosses?
Really good argument here. Luton, they do deliver that. This is the Premiership. It's not like the Premiership of 20, 30 years ago when that was part and parcel of being a centre-back, having to bang headers out of there time and time again. Long balls coming in, crosses coming in, getting elbowed, tasseling with players. You had to be big and strong. I think today's quality of centre-back is not necessarily the most important part of the game, because you don't see many crosses coming in anymore in top-class football. So these guys cannot be intimidated by these big Luton players. I think when they get out there and start looking at them close up, you'll see the size of these guys. It could be a bit scary, a bit daunting. We do have issues. You've highlighted 2 key players here. So Lindelof, for example, as a centre-back, I don't think he's the best in the air. His hair is always neat and tidy, bit of a pretty boy. I don't see him as a rough stuff kind of defender. And it's not just that. I just think sometimes you have to time it rather than I don't think he run like I see him static. Set pieces, he's static. He's always thinking, okay, I'll let this one go. What gets me, the Villarreal final, when the ball came over, he did nothing. He didn't read it. He let that one go. And from there, I'm like, nah, bruv, you're not on it. On the floor, yeah, you can ping balls. That's nice. But this is going to be a real test of players like Lindelof. Maguire, no problems. As you know, he can do it today. But talking about Lindelof, I think what you need to do in a situation like this, don't get too tight. If you're a defender, you should be able to read things better than the forward. So take a step back and run and attack the ball. You know what I'm saying? So rather than standing still or trying to, his ball's played up to the Adebayo, whatever his name is, the big striker. Don't get too tight to him. Just stand behind him, wait for him and pinch him. Or if the ball comes up in the air, get a running jump on him and just come through him. You got to give him something. And don't, if you've got any, we won't hear this, obviously, but give it back to them. If they're being rough and tough with you or trying to be hard, it's not really going to go off. Don't be scared. Give it back to them. Say, yeah, I'll see you. I'll give them some lip. And don't be intimidated at all. Women didn't get away with that back in the day because it could realistically kick off in the change room or something. But here, it won't happen. You know that. Anana, come out. Don't try and claim the ball. Use your size. Go and punch like you punch through two players at Wolves. Just do that. Go and get on the phone to your Cameroonian guy in Ghana and speak to him about how to take players out because you're going to need it. It's going to be rough and tumble. And I think they will target these two guys and whoever else is in the box.
So when we're defending against crosses, we're obviously expecting Luton to try and turn the centre backs, like play a ball in behind and then cross from the byline sort of area. Will we do better playing deeper or playing further forward in order to defend crosses?
Sorry, Dora. I'm just going to say, personally, what I'm saying is this. It doesn't matter where. Defenders have to decide what they want to do. You want to give your best chance of getting a running jump at these guys to attack the ball. So if that means dropping off a little bit, 5 yards, and then when you anticipate the cross is going to come, so you can get a running attack and you can attack the ball, that's great. Because if you stand still, they're going to climb all over you and eat you up for breakfast or lunch. It will be lunchtime, won't it, around that time? So you'll be lunch in Luton right there. So you got to, what I would do, stand off them, ball's coming in, take a step back and run and attack the ball. That way you got more chance of winning headers. So I don't know about the line or whatever, but just drop off, ball's coming, let's get back in numbers and run and attack the ball. Don't stand still because they would, like you say, I remember a couple of years ago we played Burnley. They were a big, strong side. And the guy I played, Tarkowski, I think it is, we were doing zonal marking and they just ran and attacked the ball and we were all over us. We're standing still trying to jump. And by the time you're trying to jump, they're halfway on top of you, boom, coming through you, and that's how you get shown up. Stand back, attack the ball. If you don't attack the ball, we're going to get exposed, and then we're doing an eye test, and it'll be horrible. Make it eyeball.
It's also really boring to animate because you can't show it. But is this how you used to sort out Kevin Gallen? Drop off a little bit,
and Aaron Silva and all these guys. Yeah, I would use my physical thing as a defender. Right, and not stand still and attack the ball. And I find always when you attack the ball, do it once or twice. Put your knees in their back when you're coming through them, and elbow them and pinch their nipples, step on their toe, get put on a vexed face. Don't talk to them. And once you hit them once, they realize, you can't see him. Where is he? He's going to come through him again. And they brace themselves, And then once you do that, once you got them. So I see a lot of defenders these days. They've lost that art of really being rough and tough and use your physical prowess to come through.
Working a man.
Yeah, man.
They should tell. I'm surprised you didn't tell them some of your jokes. Because they're very painful.
Yeah, they are painful. But you've got two options. I say this to the boys now for our Sunday team. Don't talk to them. If they try to, because sometimes then if you go out there, mean and big, look big and strong, after a few minutes they're like, yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah. Oh, how you doing? Yeah. And then I'm like, just kiss my teeth and walk off, And then I said, I got you now because you tried to talk to me, be friendly because you're intimidated, I can't see Lindelof doing that. He's going to get moved up.
Yeah, I can't see Maguire doing that either. I'm sure he asked them how, what car insurance provider they have. But just before we get to the comments, we'll do the comments while Amondi's laughing. Anana will get tested if they get lots of set pieces. Darren is saying you will lose because of their set plays. And but didn't Rob Edwards manage Forest Green Rovers? He certainly did. We got a quiz question from Big T. Which player had an award for him? Manager's Player of the Season. It's McTominay. The award was actually a vase that was taken out of. It's true. It was taken out of an office to give to him. Emma Kay's in the house, and she's having none of this end-to-end game. She's absolutely not accepting 4 goals conceded to Luton. You're all out of your minds. Andy is saying you've got to have pressure to get set pieces. Hopefully we counter them to bits. Don't worry about defending crosses. Just don't let them have the ball. Play the ball in their half. No issues. And we deserve better. Lindelof is our worst defender of the last 5 years. Blimey. When Omondi says give it back to them, he means play them at their own game. See how they like it. I can only remember around 10 games in his tenure with us where I've seen some magic. And we've got a couple of score predictions. We've got Jeff, who was meant to be on the show tonight, but he had a work commitment and also called me a pagan yesterday. Omondi, Victor Lindelof would try licking the opponent's faces like a dog. And this does sound mad, how Man United have to take Luton real serious than a match against us, for instance. Luton was small fry last season. You just need your B team. It's going to be interesting. Well, we'll move on from this now. But what I think we're all hoping for on Sunday is that maybe this is the game where Onana can step up and show he's a Man United goalkeeper, relieve pressure on the defenders, and just go around smacking people about in his own box. That's what I'd like to see. He'll be a great keeper when he's got blood on his gloves. Right. This is something that I found when I was looking at the stats. Dora, look at the information here and tell me, does this worry you?
1.43 goals scored per match. So they scored 1.43 goal, or they are scoring what like that, at least one goal every game.
Yeah.
Second half scored. I mean, it is. I think. I thought that they scored less, to be quite honest with you. But I also said that they had almost the same tally as we did. their goal scoring record is almost as same as ours, which is funny, but it is what it is. I don't know. I suppose those are probably, most of them are from set pieces or half or whatever. I mean, maybe not, but yeah, I'm not worried. Honestly, I'm not worried about this. I think that I'm not trying to underestimate them, but we are miles better than them. I think that the whole thing of set pieces are going to kill us. I hope that, I would say that, I would love to think that Ten Hag is going to prep his players and, and say to them, you know what, you need to, as Omondi said, you need to be rough with them. They don't necessarily play, ugly, that ugly of a football, but they are really rough and they are very physical, and I think that our players are going to step up. I think that we have tools to do that. I don't think Lindelof is going to start, in all honesty, so we don't have to worry about that. But the likes of Varane, Maguire, who is probably going to be our biggest wrestler on Sunday when it comes to, he will go double WWE on them on Sunday with his big head. But yeah, I'm not that worried about it.
You're not scared?
No, I mean, I would lie to you if I was scared. Like, to be quite honest with you, BATHTIME, I know that the last few games didn't fix us. I'm not delusional. I don't think we are going to get top 4. I still don't think we are going to get top 4. I don't believe this team right now. I need more consistent results and more consistent play. But saying that I'm scared of Luton, like even I remember those games against Burnley. I think we had one or two games against Burnley during Sean Dyche era where we struggled. Right after that, we were always better than them. And correct me if I'm wrong. Like I remember those games us being, physical as them, us, scoring those goals, from the open play, using our pace of our wingers and attackers to, score against them. And, to be quite honest with you, I think that we can do it once again. I don't think, I remember even the last game that we played against them. Yes, they were physical in the air, and I thought that they were more scary in the open play because our midfield was a black hole. But I think that we are better now than we've been before, and I think that that experience from that game is going to help us as well. I'm honestly not scared. I would lie to you if I say that I'm scared. I'm not.
Okay, well, just before we get to you, Monday, we'll just go to the comments. I think we've established that Dora isn't scared.
If I'm talking too much bedtime, just slam me. Like Goran Ivanišević.
Dora, you're on here to talk. Don't worry. You always say this. Don't worry about it.
Look, Goran Ivanišević was suspended one tennis match because he broke four of his rackets. So just slam your racket on my head and I will shut up.
I've heard about your rackets, Dora. Like, I'm not messing with the crime.
Hey,
Dora,
was Goran Ivanišević the guy that used to play football with the ball boy?
Yeah.
Left-footed, good player.
Yeah, left-handed as well. Proper ace, best server I've ever seen in my life.
And also, he's a huge West Bromwich Albion fan, which was so random to hear.
You can't be serious.
I'm serious. Check him out. Like he's a West Bromwich Albion fan.
Wow.
Was there a club that played for them?
I can't remember. I don't think there was. In all honesty, I think he had a story that he was once, playing, tennis in England or whatever he was, and he looked at that team and he said, in the 90s. Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, I will root for this team." I don't know why.
He was fantastic. He lost to Agassi. I remember it was like in them days the court was really fast at Wimbledon, and with his serve and volley and his thing, he seemed unstoppable. But Agassi, with his baseline play, managed to beat him in over 5 sets. Then he came back and beat Patrick Rafter for the first time for his first Wimbledon title, and it was so emotional. Everyone, because he came as a non-qualified.
He was a wild card, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a wild card.
He was.
Yeah,
there was a movie Wimbledon.
When you're wild card, you're going to get all the top seeds going through. So that was just amazing. That's one of the most memorable moments for me. And his reaction.
My first sport memory actually, it was chaotic. I'll tell you after the stream, but I will just say this, right? He was 4 times in the finals of Wimbledon. 1 time he lost to Agassi, 2 times he lost to Sampras.
Of course.
Did, and then he finally won as a wild card against Raptor. I mean, probably top 5 moments in Croatian sports history. So yeah, we love him here, but he is a fan of West Bromwich Albion, by the way.
Unbelievable.
So unbelievable.
West Brom used to have a player that was left-footed that I really, really liked, and I can't remember the name of him. It's Zora or something like that.
Yeah. No, Hungarian guy, Zora. Something.
Yeah, someone in chat let me know who that guy was because he was an excellent player. It wasn't Chris Brunt before. Of course, Andrew. I knew someone would say Chris Brunt. Thank you so much.
Zoltan Gera.
Absolute dream of a player. He's a bit like a guy at Blackburn called Tungai. Really underrated player. Let's do the comments unless we've got any more like sort of late 90s Wimbledon stories. No?
Go for it.
All right, we got DK Wilson saying a defender's organisation will be paramount.
True.
Of course, extra time should be spent ensuring defenders remain disciplined and organised. I think for me, it's not it's the entire team has got to be organised. Like I really like it when Omondi talks about defenders attacking the ball because everywhere on the pitch you should be attacking things. And I want our whole team to be set up to win second balls, to win first balls, and to get us up the pitch. Big T is saying we have scored more goals in our last 3 to 5 games than Luton have, ain't we? Why are you worried? I'll tell you why I'm worried after this. You beat these teams by being better and passing and moving. That's yeah. Jeff Esco is saying, Andrew, you've got to love a long throw. And I'm with Jeff on this. It's one of my favourite things in football. And Emma Kay, brilliant. Take care of the ball for long periods. Make them run. Open up the space. Get fouls. Couldn't say it better myself. And there's a lot of chat about tennis. But we deserve better. Is say Sean Dyche. What a voice. Voice of an angel, really. I saw a clip of him talking about curry the other day, and it was amazing. He was just such a connoisseur of it. Right, Omondi, I brought this up because of that second half goal thing. We've been pretty dodgy. Like about every 2 minutes into the second half of every game this season, we've either conceded or should have conceded. Off the top of my head. Should we be worried about this? What are you thinking?
Yeah, we should. You should. I mean, you can analyze data over and over again. I'm not good at that, so to speak. But that second half scoring a goal suggests to me Luton have always fighting to the end. They probably got to come back to get a result. The first time in the Premiership, they're bringing on subs, banging the ball forward, trying to get goals. You know, they were actually 4-2 up against Newcastle. It wasn't the other way around. They were winning that game, but they always going to bang balls into the box. And with the crowd behind you, the small Kenilworth Road Stadium, and if they're 1-0, if we're 1-0 up, it's going to be a scary prospect for us when they're banging balls in. So that's why I suspect they will be scoring goals late in the second half or in the second half, pushing on. So they can't be underestimated. They've been really impressive for me because it's one game where you really know it's only one game where you're going to play this sort of style of opposition all season. And so you have to be on it. It's going to be a tough battle. You're going to be bruised and afterwards and everything, but just get through it because you know the next game is going to be more about concentration and that kind of thing. This one's going to be about physicality and making sure that you don't get bullied in any way. We don't need that. And it's no surprise. It's not a surprise because I think, but to be honest, the most dangerous man in Luton Town is a guy called Tommy Robinson. If you know him.
Monday.
But anyway, yeah, we won't go there. But big up Tommy Robinson.
No, we're not endorsing or unendorsing Tommy Robinson's views. Once again, Monday is trying to turn this into Newsnight. I think that the thing that you've said there that I find the most interesting is Luton are a team that are going to stay in a game until the end. Like Dora was completely right earlier, where we won 1-0 from a Lindelof goal at Old Trafford, and Rashford and Garnacho missed pretty presentable chances, but they were in it right till the end, and they most of their goals come in the second half. Like we definitely need to blow them away in the first half. Like in my view, that's what I'm hoping for. But what have I got next, Dora? Okay. I don't know. What? So I was just asking. Here we go.
Oh my God, this is delightful. This is delightful.
British stadiums. What do you think? That is the away
it's
end.
Still better than that's the away. I mean, it's still better than 80% of Croatian stadiums. So Luton is ahead of its time in my eyes. But yeah, I mean, it's strange, seeing, because as a foreigner, I always, I was, I kind of always, even the championship teams have, great, really, quite, typical English stadiums, but they're quite big. They can hold maybe 15, 20, 30,000 people, even more, right? If you count in Leicester and, the other teams. But yeah, I remember, seeing that Luton got promoted and seeing this, and it was so much different than what I saw in the Premier League. It's amazing, isn't it? It's absolutely amazing. Like if I didn't inhale that much British culture in my life, and if I see these photo, I would say this is a proper English, stadium. This is England 100%. It emphasizes everything. Like if I didn't know better, right? So I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, people are, literally. I mean, they're living there. They're literally living there.
Do you see
next
them?
to
You see
stadium.
where the police are on the steps? Like you
Yeah.
can see into like people's gardens, like from there. Like a Monday. Is this one of the real stadiums in world football?
Yeah, you have to. Now they've got back into the Premiership, you can look at the stadium and say, wow. I thought when they got to the Premiership, they'd have to consider moving or playing somewhere else because of the stadium. We've always known how sort of small it is and how close it is to the residential area, you know. I mean, looking at the entrance there, it looks like you can get your MOT done there, you know, or something. It looks like a garage with a little wheelie bin and thing, you know. But yeah, the stairs, you can imagine walking up the stairs and hearing a clunk, clunk, clunk with those metal stairs and going up there, and it could be a bit wobbly, that sort of temporary staircase. I've got one like that at my work, you know. It's just a wonderful atmosphere, and I just think it's great for away fans to go and experience it, because you go to all these wonderful new stadiums like Spurs and Arsenal new stadium as well, newish stadium, and then you end up somewhere on Junction 11 on the M1 down in Luton there, and going up, climbing up these stairs into this, you know, little stadium, tiny little stadium. It's amazing.
Yeah,
isn't it?
11.
I mean, this is what makes
12,000.
Is
Wow.
it 12,000? Okay.
It's 11,500. It is. Yeah. It's a cowshed. And honestly, I'm really hoping that our players enjoy it, because they're not going to play in stadiums like this often. And it looks like a fantastic place to play football, to be honest. Like real, you know, as Dora said, this is England. Like this is English football to a T. Going through like a terraced house to the away stand.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Tea, put the kettle on.
I believe it actually inspired The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It didn't. All right. Look, here's one for you on Monday. Ordora, are Luton the smallest team ever to make the Premier League?
I mean, I think they are. I think they have the smallest. I think I saw that data or information at the beginning of the season when they got promoted. I think they are.
You got Bournemouth. Bournemouth have got a very small stadium as well.
Yeah.
QPR, when QPR were up there, they've got up to sort of 17, 18, 19,000 at Loftus Road. But yeah, definitely, I'd say Luton.
I'd go for Swindon or Oldham, to be honest. I don't know the size of their grounds, but I mean, Oldham are a founding member of the Premier League, and they're now non-league. Like they're no longer in the football, in professional football. Like Swindon as well was like a sort of, it's almost as famous as like the sort of Kevin Keegan Newcastle team, but they were just so bad. I think Derby County as well were a terrible team in the Premier League one year. But I just think it's great that Luton have come up. They've had, you know, the club has gone to the wall about 4 or 5 times. They could have been bankrupt. And, you know, on Sunday, you know, United are going to take over these terraced houses and just like have a blast. It's going to be a great little house party. Andy is saying that Derby had 11 points one year. We inspired the Lion, the Witch, and the Bathrobe and the Wardrobe Bathrobe, the Chronicles of Narnia. Very good. Very good. I might steal that. Bart is trying to troll Jeff. We'll see how that goes. And everyone is biting. Right, what have I got for you next? I've got some players from, right, I've put their names up. You don't have to name them. First one we got is Carlton Morris, 6'2", left-footed, and he's got 6 goals and 4 assists. Amonde, do you know anything about this lad?
I know. If I was casting for the new Vinnie Jones film, which I was in, by the way, you know, he's done a takeoff of the Burt Reynolds film. What was it called again?
Mean Machine.
Mean Machine, yeah. I was in that. I was one of the prisoners. I was an extra.
Were you really?
Yeah, really. If I was casting for that, he would look at that. Look at his face. He looks like a prisoner. Like just like, yeah, I'll pick him. Governor, can I get out for some football? Yes, you can, Carlton Morris. Name or number? Name and number. Nah, he just looks. I know this guy. He's come up through the leagues. He's big and strong, and he's been edged out. I thought for the big Adebayo, or whatever his name is. Adebayo, yeah. But he's just as strong. He reminds me of Troy Deeney, sort of that sort of player, but bigger and stronger. So he's going to muscle up against any defender. He's going to get touch tight with them and roll them and elbow them, and very good at that. 6 goals, 4 assists is really good output for a guy like that. I love to see these players come up the league. You would never think it would be any good, but to come into the Premiership and we step it up. And maybe these guys, I'm not saying that they love their club, but maybe they can get a move from this by being impressive. And he's impressive. I
mean, they're journeyman players, a lot of these guys. They've been around the lower leagues and stuff. And what I was quite surprised at looking at Morris here was I thought he'd be a bit broader. He's not as sort of barrel-chested as I thought their strikers would be. Dora, have you seen any of Carlton Morris, or have any prison-based films that you'd like to tell us about?
No, Omondi, you are famous, I would say, and also it's so funny that you actually said that this guy looks like a prisoner, and I'm not going to comment anything about it.
You look hard.
Yeah, of course. I mean, BATHTIME. If this guy wanted to have a broader, chest and everything, I think he needed to, take up water polo because
nice.
Yeah, of course he will get bigger. Of course, I mean, swimming.
Hopefully, he won't be diving at the weekend.
Oh, I hope so as well. Unfortunately, I barely saw this guy, but I mean, these are good stats, especially for the low table team. I mean, he has 10
goal contributions.
Goal contributions. Thank you. Which is most of the. I think it's better than most of our players. So kudos to him. But I mean, is he fast, or is he big and fast like Ollie Watkins, for example?
Yeah.
He is. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah, he will be a handful, definitely. He will be definitely a handful.
Well, the next one is who Amonde's talking about. Now, look at that chest. This is Adebayo.
This guy swims.
Yeah, he's 6'3". He scored 9 goals, including a hat-trick against Brighton. He's going to be the centre point of all their attacks, we would think, Amonde.
Oh, most definitely. You mentioned Centre Point. It's homeless charity I used to work for as well. But his name's Elijah. I named my son Elijah. Wonderful name. Ade. Ade. My sister's called Adenike. Ade means crown in Nigerian as well. 6'3". So it's really hard. Like I say, you've seen the sort of stature he has, and he uses it really well. This is what you got. When you've got attributes like this, which you've been born and blessed with, you got to maximize it to the most, And it's great to see this guy. I would never know him from the lower leagues. You see a lot of guys like this in lower leagues, big units, who could, but if you can play a bit as well and use your attributes to your advantage, you can score 9 goals in the Premier League. And fair play to him. He's been probably the most outstanding player for them this season, based on his contribution with the goals. And he's a handful. That's the thing. So defenders will talk. They say, oh, my God, that guy's a handful. And then he'd probably get a move again based on this. Well done, Elijah. You've really maximized your potential at whatever age you are. And, whatever you're doing out there by using your physicality and everything else, you're scoring goals and you're going to get noticed. And God bless you, man. I hope you do well. Not against us, but with your feet.
He's a bit like Ivan Toney, isn't it? Like, come up from lower league football and has really shown that there is a place for like using your strength, like Mikel Antonio as well. Right, we've got some comments. Mean Machine.
That's right.
I love that film because Jason Statham is in it, and he plays a character called the Monk. And the Monk comes out and collects a ball, but in his head, he just kills everyone. Yeah. And that's what I want from Banana at the weekend. Andrew's making a pretty poor joke. Were you in Sister Act as well? Because you look like Whoopi Goldberg, I assume. Jeff said, Amonde, you are so interesting. I need that story sometime. Your best one is the Crime Watch one. That's my favourite story.
Yeah, that's a funny story, yeah.
And then Big T is making a joke, I think. What Ford did Troy Deeney drive? This is good. was Mr. B OMONDI's stunt double? It would look like the Lord of the Rings, like Gandalf with the hobbits. And we got one of my favourites. It's Jarl Malman. Jarl, I believe, according to Skyrim, means king. So we've got another king in the chat. And he's saying that I hope you're all having a fantastic day.
Thank
and
you.
We hope that you are as well. Big T, are we going up in height order? And I mean, actually, I think this is quite a good point. Actually, these guys would have bullied Leacher. I do wonder what we would have done if Martinez has been fit, because if there's a game that isn't made for Martinez, I think it's this game. And we got another big boy here. Yeah, you would never saw it, would you?
No,
he's 6'3".
I'm shocked.
I checked on 2 different websites.
Wow,
that's insane.
I would have guessed like 6 foot.
Is this the player with the most quality?
I mean, he has the most experience on the high level, right? He was an Everton player. He played for Chelsea. I mean, he has the experience. I don't. Probably, I think experience and is quite valuable. I don't think he's a bad player necessarily. I think that there is a reason why he was bought from by Chelsea that year from Everton. I think we were in for him as well. He was a great English talent. He was playing for the English national team, so he's not a bum. It's just that his time kind of passed. He played on the high level as much as he could, but at the end, you need to go somewhere else. And I would argue that his experience connected, combined with his quality, I think he's their most important player in that sense. And he's a midfielder as well, which is it's a heart of the team. And what he does, if he plays badly, I think most of those games, most of the team will play as well.
Okay, well, chat are doing some calculations and are saying he's 6'1" or 2. I go off centimeters, like metric only around here. You're all kings, so imperial measures. OMONDI.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Ross Barkley.
Yeah,
I think
too.
tell me about him. What are you worried about?
He's just quality. I mean, he's quality. He's England quality. He's had a sort of up and down career. Like Dora said, I mean, he got signed from Everton to Chelsea because he was that good. I've seen him this year, and he's transformed this team. Luton without him, I don't think would be doing as good. He's been instrumental in them playing having that bit of quality. You think, oh yeah, the ball bypass midfield, long balls, that kind of thing. He's got that bit of quality. When he gets the ball to feet, he's the main man, and I think for him, he's sort of benefited a lot, his game, from being the main man in the team. He goes to Chelsea, sort of shadow, he's sort of out of the picture because he's not a big personality as these other guys, and he could be edged out for a foreigner coming in or whatever. But at Everton, he showed his quality, and here at Luton, because he's the main man, he can show his quality. I saw him the other day. I can't remember. Maybe it was the Newcastle game, or maybe a game before that. Every time we got the ball, chops, he would go past the player with power, with a little bit of finesse, 2-footed as well. He's got a wicked shot on him, left foot, right foot. He can pop it around. And I think what helps him as well, all his teammates, he's turned up. He's not a big boy, Charlie. He's turned up. He's trying to prove something. They will pass to him. There's no issues there. They would know.
Yeah.
He's our main man. They know they will pass to him. Yeah, feet, pop. And they get it back because they're playing with a player who's probably they've never played before. And if you were to ask them, who's the best player you've ever played with? They would probably say Ross Barkley because he is that quality. And this is the thing. He's getting in contention now with maybe Gareth Southgate's Euro team for the end of the season. He's that good. Big, strong, strapping guy. He could play as number 10, number 8, even a number 6 as well. Real good quality. And I just think it's great to see. You can take a back step and come back into the game. If he would have gone somewhere where he wouldn't have got game time and been coming off the bench, whatever, it wouldn't have helped him. He's playing every week in, week out, and his chest is taking up the whole screen because he's so proud.
Enormous.
Of his ability right now. So big up to Ross Barkley. I think it's a great move, and it's turned out good. Even if they get relegated or whatever, he's had a fantastic season and he's put himself back on the map again.
Look, he's built like a barrel as well. One thing I will say about Ross Barkley that I really like about him is he's a very unselfish player. Like, he gives the ball, and a lot of, from what I've seen from the highlights of Luton, when he's on the ball, people make runs because they know they're going to get it. And I'd love to see us do a job on him, but we have to look at the comments, and they're all echoing what you're saying, Amonde and Dora. Has Ross Barkley found his level at Luton? Is it the right fit?
Yeah.
We've got Jarl. He's saying, Jarl, without the E, is king or chieftain of the last area. I am from where we used to have Jarls all over, which presumably is Skyrim, which is where I learned about Jarls. I'm going to play modded Skyrim soon. Andrea's saying Ross Barkley was always decent, just couldn't stay fit. Barkley starts well, but gives up bagged passes late in the match. Lost 2 goals against Newcastle, so maybe we can get on his defensive side. Big T remembers him having moments, but I'd never want to sign him. I think he'd be a good squad player. Chelsea destroy the careers of holding midfielders. And Bart is, I mean, this is one of his worst ever trolls. Barkley is a better player than McTominay. Credit to Rob Edwards for building around him and rejuvenating Ross. But I know you're trying to get modded, but you need better trolls in order to do that. All right, I've saved the tallest guy for last. It's Alfie Doherty, or however you say that. Does anyone know who this is?
Yeah. They play 3 at the back. He's the guy who gets up and down. A bit like, who's the guy from Burn, from Dan Burn? He's sort of like that big, marauding guy getting up and down, fit. He's probably got 6 lungs in his chest. And like you say, look, 1 goal, 5 assists. So that tells you a story about how they play their football. Wing backs, whipping in crosses. Like you said earlier, the great stat you put up half-time about crosses. This is how they do it from wide areas, you know. Takes right-sided set pieces, so coming inside. So he's got a dream of left foot wand, as they say. But 6'5" as well, which means when their back's against the wall, he can chip in and defend as well. So I just think you're looking around the team, and you said average height 6'1". It's amazing, isn't it? I want to see the lineup when they're in the tunnel and see the guys looking up to these players. That's a bit of intimidation. But look at him, a guy like Alfie from Alfie Doughty. He's probably from the old East End, isn't he? And made it, tattooed his arm. He's got his whole sleeve out of his arm, hasn't he, Alfie? And he's playing for Luton now. Yeah, my son Alfie's playing for Luton. Let's drive up
What
here.
is this fantasy?
Yeah, lovely. Big up. Look at Adam Chapel, real man.
Dora, what do you think? 6'5" left back is Garnacho. Presumably, he's going to be the right winger. What's he going to do against this lad?
I mean, run at him. Use his smaller frame, and I suppose Garnacho is faster than him and more agile, and he's going to use that against Alfie Doughty. Do you spell it like that or
Doughty.
Say it like that? Doughty. Yeah, very interesting player, at the wingback position. I actually checked out his Wikipedia page, by the way, researching in the middle of the stream. He's quite a utility player. I think, besides wingback, he can play fullback and a midfielder. Centre back, like he can do it all. So yeah, but I think we had the tools to use that, his stature and everything to our advantage, definitely.
Good stuff. All right, we're running out of time, so I'm going to whiz through what I've got next. This guy, Oshu, I think we're going to target. He's not very good against pace. I've seen him struggle against Gordon, Martinelli and highlights and things, but he has scored 2 goals, so he is a little bit of a danger. And once again, barrel-chested, very smiley man. These boys might be back. That's Mengi and Chong, who are academy graduates. But now, for the real event, it's the solo 11, and we have got a shock here. Omonde, talk to me about this team.
Shetland pony at left back, as you say. I think Johnny Evans is suited for this sort of task today. What we got, but we got Varane and Maguire. Happy with that. Going through, could have to speed this up. Amrabat at left back. I don't think that should happen. We got to consider something else. It might be Lindelof, maybe instead. I'm happy with the midfield. I mean, we've all got to be impressed with what we've been seeing lately with these guys in midfield. McTominay's coming in for Casemiro, which, it could be a good decision there because we do endorse McTominay in this show. Not just endorse him, but we just highlight that he is actually a good player, thanks to the eye test and bath time. And the front three, I don't think you should change that. So, Dora, I'm quite impressed with this.
I think this is probably with all the injuries and everything that happened since the last game. I think this is probably our strongest team. I wouldn't put Victor Lindelof at the left back because he's not good enough to actually play that position. I wouldn't rush Luke Shaw because he obviously is very sensitive, or maybe I will use another word, sensitivity. He's not in his fields, but he is quite injury prone, and I think that there are other games that we need him, and he will be an important part of it. I think that I know we are going off that one game of Amrabat playing left back in his debut and him being not absolutely amazing, but him being really solid in that position. But who are you going to play there? We don't have Reguilon, we don't have anyone. I won't put Victor Lindelof there. If I don't care what anyone says, I like the guy actually. I was one of his supporters, rare supporters Lindelof. In the last few years. Yeah, I like him, but as a player, right? But I mean, I don't think he's, good for this game, especially out of position and especially with the physicality that Luton Town has. So, I agree with this. I think this should be our starting 11, most definitely.
I would change this. I'd take Kobe out and I'd stick Casemiro in.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Sorry, I didn't even notice that Casemiro is out. I actually agree with you, BathTime. I think Casemiro is more... how do you say it? Especially with the fact that Kobe Mino isn't really good in the air. I think Casemiro is much better, and I think that is a huge factor as to why he should start over Kobe. But I totally agree with you.
I would certainly play McTominay in this match when you see the height and the size of the team and defending at set pieces. I also think that I would shift low to left back and try Lindelof at right back, so he can play a back three in possession. And as Emma and people said in chat, like I don't want us to do a lot of defending.
Agreed.
Like in this game, I want us to be attacking a lot, which is why we might actually just see the same team. But I definitely think I definitely think it would make sense to have a player to maybe give Kobe a rest in this match and pop McTominay in, and then we can bring Kobe off the bench to get a bit more control. And who knows, we might see Eriksen actually start over Kobe with a bit of experience, because it's, a small stadium, big men. This could go anyway. So, Omondi, if anything else on the solo 11?
No, I was going to ask your thoughts about the left back position, but you just answered that. But so Amrabat doesn't get in. Solo, nice try.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the comments now, and people keep bringing up this guy, Harry Amos. My understanding is that Harry Amos is he 16 or 17?
Youngster, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you give like a youngster an away debut at Kenilworth Road in the Premier League against like men who are 6'5". I think that you genuinely play Amrabat or Lindelof, or an experienced international, out of position rather than chucking in a defender like at left back. But is there anything else here? Jeff is saying he wants McTominay off the bench. Jeff might be right here, because we know Ten Hag isn't a pragmatist. Like, he's an idealist, and he'll want his best team out and try and win the game. And that's Kobe and Casemiro. All right. Score predictions. Dora, what are you thinking?
3-0.
2 United.
2 United. Sorry.
Yeah.
3-0 to Manchester United. We will win.
Who's scoring?
Højlund is going to continue his streak. I think there is a possibility of, you know what? I will say this: Bruno and Rashford.
Okay.
As well. Yeah.
Amonde.
Yeah, big up everyone in the comments. Big up Jesus. Just seeing you jump in as well.
Yeah.
He said, don't underestimate Luton. They're good at attacking. So, yeah, we're not underestimating them. We're giving them respect. I mean, anyone in the Premiership we have to respect. I think we're going to win 2-0 away from home. Obviously, there's an issue about, we don't beat teams away from home in the top 9. We silenced that last week. We went to Villa Park and got the point. So that's massive. I think we're supposed to beat teams lower than us. I think we've got momentum at the moment. We have to sort of close up on the good work we've done this year, since the start of the year. And I think we've got to go and try and get this result. It's really important to us. They've got a game in hand on Everton, who are just below them in the relegation zone, which is good for them. So they might see this as, all right, let's look forward to another game with teams around us where we can pick up points and just use this as an occasion and showpiece for some of their players, and not necessarily depend on life and death of getting a result. So I think we just need it more than them, even though they'll be up for it. So I'm going to say 2-0 away from home. I'd love to know what the guys in the comments think, because we have given you a good analysis.
Who's scoring, Amonde?
Just strikers, the forward guys. I'd give it. I think Rashford on the break. I think, I agree with Dora. I think Højlund is, got that confidence now. He's got the physicality as well. I think he can do something. So yeah, I'd say the two of them, Rashford and Højlund.
No Maguire?
It could possibly happen, but I just think he's the main guy. As I said the other day, when it comes to set pieces, who are you going to pick up? Pick up the big guy, the one who can head. It's Maguire, so he'd be well marked and marshalled. That's why I think we sort of play around with short corners or short free kicks a lot of the time.
All right. Well, first of all, we got Andrew's going to bed. He's going 3-0. He's doing the same as Dora. We've got the legendary Mr. B.
Yes,
he's saying 2-1 United, so a closer game. Double A, it's 4-0. Yes. 4-0 for him. Big T is on a wind up. He thinks it's 5-4. And it's Stefan. Hello, Stefan. How are you? 3-1. Højlund, Garnacho, and Maguire. Barkley gets a consolation for them. Jeff, very same score, but he's going for Højlund, Bruno, and Casemiro. It would be nice to see Casemiro get a goal. DK Wilson is going for 3-2, and Emma is going 5-1.
Nice.
Which is be our biggest result of the season. Pat, 4-1 to United, and Matthew Bassett, 2-1. So some mixed things there, but stuff to look out for is how we defend crosses, as that's going to be the main thing. Right. We're going to sign off now. Our friend Rick Sports is streaming at the moment, so I've put his link in chat if you want to continue talking about United with very tall people. But thank you so much, Dora and Amonde, for joining me on a cold and windy Thursday. Dora, anything to tell us? Anything to say?
Well, I'm now going to, before I go to sleep, I will go watch Gladiators. So thank you for reminding me. So yeah, big up to everyone in the comments. Thank you for having me. And hopefully we win and 3-0, and that goal difference is only going to go up. So yeah.
Are you joining us on Sunday for match reaction, or are you off again?
I will let you know. I had something in plans, but I will let you know if I'm free.
Amonde, the mean machine.
Yeah. I just want to back up what Dora's saying. I think we need to get the 3 points. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be rough. But when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and we need to get going. It's a must-win game for us, and I'm glad it's on a Sunday as well at 4:30 p.m. Make sure you check out Mr. B with a live watch-along, and make sure you tune in as well for the post-match reaction, where hopefully we see Dora.
And there's a takeaway, I think, tomorrow where Jeff the ref will be on finally getting to talk
Brilliant.
about blue cards.
Brilliant.
So it's a good night from all of us. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to try and find the outro. Thanks very much. Good night.